The United Nations Population Fund, in collaboration with the Ministry of Men Affairs, have called for an end to stigmatization of menstruation. The UNFPA also called for more effort to make menstrual hygiene products more accessible and affordable for women and adolescent girls. The UNFPA Adolescent and Sexual Reproductive Health Analyst, Dr. Babatunde Adeleke, also revealed that the upcoming 2022 World Menstrual Hygiene Management Day, with the theme "Making Menstruation a Normal Fact of Life by 2030", will help raise awareness on the need to change the negative social norms surrounding menstruation.
It has become, in some climes, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, menstruation is seen as a taboo, and adolescent girls and young women sometimes are stigmatized because of this. Some of them are unable to go to school and complete their education. At UNFPA, addressing all these issues are both at the strategic level in terms of enabling environment, getting the right policies and legal framework to ensure that adolescent girls and young women are not vulnerable and that they live a dignified life and have the bodily autonomy for them to be able to understand that menstruation is normal and for them to be able to live their life to the full potential. The cost of all these hygiene products for the normal average rural adolescent girl and young woman, it is probably not achievable. I mean, they will not have the means for them to be able to do that. And so for us at UNFPA, what we are doing is also empowering and training adolescent young girls and women across the different rural areas on how to make what we call menstrual reusable pads. We are also working with our stakeholders and with our partners to produce this so that it is reusable, it is something they can do, and then it helps them to live a dignified life. Access to water and adequate sanitary facilities is essential for us to be able to ensure that the management of menstruation and menstrual issues, is done adequately. The government is trying, but they can still do better to ensure that all these facilities are there in the school, so that the fact that an adolescent girl is menstruating doesn't mean she won't be able to attend schools. So there's still more to do, but the government is trying their best and will continue to advocate for more, for stakeholders, for private partners to collaborate with us and with the government to ensure that all these facilities are in place.
Menstrual period is just one of the manifestations that you are a complete woman. So don't see it as a thing of shame. No. It's the evidence that you are approved by God as a laboratory for his manufacturing, okay, of manhood. Hear me loud and clear. How does human being form? After sex, you don't even know which cell. Maybe about 2 million cells are deposited. And do you know what? You don't even know which one. Microscopic film starts increasing in you until it becomes a full-blown man. You can't explain that. No doctor can prove that. So that shows how precious you are before God. Please don't mess it up. Do you hear me? Yes, sir. Please don't mess it up. That's why you notice that when women praise, God hears. When women cries, God listens. When women protest, do not even heaven shake. So I will appeal to you, therefore, to recognize this virtue in you, make good use of it. So that when you touch your stomach and you are talking to God, you can tell God the kind of children you want to have, and God will answer you. There are many things you do that I can't help laughing. If you know the enormity of the power God has given you women, you won't mess around with yourselves.
Associated with menstrual hygiene is period poverty. The cost of getting absorbent when girls are on their period is getting higher and higher every day. Pads are expensive. So part of the work that has been going on in Nigeria in the last few years is a lot of girls are being trained on how to make locally used pads from local materials. So we call them reusable pads. So yeah, a lot of training and awareness has been going on around that. Before now, not a lot of people knew that apart from the disposable pads, there were other absorbents that they could use. But now awareness is going on, a lot of trainings. I think there's also an activity for this year's Menstrual Hygiene Day, a training in one of the correctional centers with the ladies on how to make some of these pads. My organization also in the last 2 years has been giving out reusable pads, and training has also been part of what we do. So yeah, there are also other options right now. The government has been doing a lot, but they need to do more, providing an enabling environment. And we're also advocating for a budget line for menstrual hygiene. We can't do that. We must have a budget line for menstrual hygiene. And part of that also requires that ministries and department agencies of government must have sanitation facilities that are functional for women in the workplace. That's another thing we're advocating for. And then let's have the sanitation facilities in schools. Schools, a lot of schools do not have clean toilets. They do not have water. They do not have all that is required for menstrual hygiene management. We are advocating for that as well. That schools should have clean toilets. They should have water. They should have everything that they need to take care of themselves.